What up, peeps? It's your super sketch artist Antonio back, and I'm here to do another top 3 of every rarity. Yes, I'm gonna keep singing it that way because I'm proud of that little jingle. Okay, this time I am doing the top 3 of every rarity of one of my favorite sets, Masters of TIme. So if you haven't watched any of my other top 3, go back. I got a few of them already up. I'm just going to give you the rundown of my top 3 of every rarity in this set. And in this set, we get some cool stuff because we also have some super boosters or some Jurassic boosters in this case. So we got some big figures as well as the normal size figures to review. So let's jump right into it. So my number 3 common figure is none other than Mr. Deadman. I am a lover of mind control, and this guy has mind control and has sidestep and can do some very cool stuff with 12 attack. So 6 range, which is huge in today's day and age, and is usually not given to a figure that does what he generally does. But him being a tie-up piece, you can't tie him down. He ignores characters for movement, and he has a Mystics team ability. Just makes him one of my favorite pieces during Worlds, and I played him a lot, and I've seen him do so much work. I'm never gonna pass a mind control piece up because you can do some very, very devastating stuff with a mind control piece. Him having shape change and super senses just makes it so you can just plug him in plink anywhere, and now you need 2 outwits to really take him down. Absolutely love this piece. Only for 40 points too. Everything that you get from him, just, I mean, he does die kind of easy, but any mystic character that has regen and then back dial outwit, chef's kiss. Love this dead man. Only thing that I think I might do is add a little bit of the smoke. The last few times they made like some smoke around his feet. I'm gotta figure out a way to put some smoke around his feet, but this sculpt looks great. Good job, WizKids, on this one. My number 2 is none other than Mr. Mind. Now, on my Mr. Mind, I used him and I wrote a word on the bottom, his bottom book, because he is about that pain. And this Mr. Mind is about that action too. Again, another mind control piece, this time with a whopping 8 range, and he sees through characters too. And he has outwit. He has outwit, perplex, and prob in his dial. He's very short. You hit him one time, you pretty much got him. But he's got super senses to help him stay alive. I've used this piece so many times I had to make myself not use him because he's so good. And I even colored in his eyes. Instead of him looking like he's all bright and happy, I made him kind of match his bigger version where he's kind of frowny. And I absolutely, absolutely love this piece. Kudos to WizKids. The sculpt looks absolutely amazing. The first time we got Mr. Mind, he was in like a little jar thing, which looked great. But this takes the cake. This is great. And again, for 30 points, you get a lot. You get a lot. I've used him tremendously, and he does absolutely work. Now, my number 1 common is a little bit of a caveat. And let me explain. My number 1 is none other than the Batman. Now, people who know me are probably like, Antonio, I thought you don't like Batman. And it's not that I don't like Batman. That's a whole nother story I'm not going to get into. I love Batman, and I love when he is in Gotham doing what Batman does in Gotham. I'll leave that. But this Batman, you're not going to see any of the other Batman throughout time in my top list, because it's almost like with every rarity there is a Batman to put in there, and I didn't want to take up the slot because I do have other characters that I like more, but I can't gloss over how effective this Batman and what his trait is. Not only just this common Batman, because he makes the rest of your people forget that he has empower and he gets +1 attack to his friends, but this Batman hits also like a tank too. He's got charge and quake with exploit on it too. I've used him a ton, broken up formations and things of that nature, or just laid the smackdown on somebody if I'm carrying an object for 4 straight. Come on, let's go. Him being able to switch into all the different Batmans that he can, through anywhere from the super rare Omega Batman all the way to the rare Batman, or even the prehistoric Batman once he takes a hit, and just flurry your face off. I absolutely love this piece. This is all the Batman that I'll ever really need in the game. Every version of Batman that they give you through his Batman through time trait gives you all the different things that you could ever really want from a Batman. So this is not only my #1 comment, but this is probably my #1 Batman piece that we've ever gotten into Heroclix. I didn't think that anybody could usurp the Iconics, the Nightfall Iconics Batman, because that was my favorite Batman until this guy came out. And beautiful sculpt too. This is Batman pointing at you like, hey, hey. We all know what that is. So now getting into the uncommons. My #3 uncommon is none other than Mr. Beast Boy. Beast Boy can turn into the big Beast Boy. You can turn this small raptor into a giant T-Rex. If you watch the Teen Titans TV show like I did, the various different versions of it, his T-Rex form or a dinosaur form is one of his most common forms that he always takes. So I am glad to see WizKids do this again. They did it back in DC 75th. I still have that figure. I thought they were going to legacy that figure for sure. I was like, oh, Beast Boy's in it. They're going to legacy eventually. They're going to legacy, and they still might. Who knows? But the T-Rex that they made in this set, the big figure, is just hands down just an amazing piece. And a whole slew of big figures that they've made that are great. But this guy being able to turn into the other big guy, there's a loop that you can do with him and Vandal Savage and all these other things. It's some cool stuff. But him having hypersonic with blades and the shape change and the ESD to start just makes it hard for him to get tagged from jump. And then again, all you got to do is hit and roll them. I love characters that reward you for rolling dice, and this is one of those characters that rewards you for rolling dice. Destroyer was one of my favorite primes. The Iconics Death of Superman with the Superman standing on the side for when people are KO'd. You can kind of bring that Superman in or bring Destroyer in when he was a thing. I love pieces like that reward you for rolling dice, and this is one of those. And him having outsiders, and while him having a wild card, again, scrolls are coming in Collector's Trove, so you could potentially team him up and then now get super duper shape change, which I think is great. And him having outsiders with all of the stat modding that we have in the game, him having outsiders to kind of calm that down, as well as being a really nasty attacker, all for 60 points. Absolutely love this piece. My #3. My #2 uncommon is none other than Dr. Fate. Now, we've gotten Dr. Fate a few times in Heroclix form, and this is my second favorite. My favorite is the con exclusive with the big unk in the back. That's still one of the best pieces in the game, in my opinion, because he shuts down special powers, which is just crazy. But this guy does everything that you kind of want. And like, I love pieces like him. They usually do pieces like Loki, where you can make multiples of him. He can make multiples of himself when he hits his evasion rolls, which I absolutely love. Like him having shape change and then just being like, oh, boop, now it's another one of me. Oh, and the other one of me, he's got enhancement, so he can make this version hit even harder. Oop, you try to hit him, he roll shape change too. Oop, now it's if you watch Naruto, then you know Kage no Binchu, and that's what, or the American version, Shadow Clone Jutsu. I absolutely love it. He has prob, which everyone loves. Probability control. Who doesn't love some prob? But it's the double evasion that I love it. The JSA to, again, copy to a character like Beast Boy, being able to make it so Beast Boy and maybe some other wild cards that you might have on your team can copy JSA and share some defense if you have. And again, he has TK, and he's a flyer as well. It's everything to love about this piece. There's another piece on my top 3 in the higher rarities that make him a little bit null and void, but he's still good nonetheless. This is my #2 uncommon. And my #1 common is one of his sisters in arms, which is Zatanna. Now, I done spruced this Zatanna up a little bit because I'm a lover of energy and clear plastic on pieces. So I did a little plastic cosmic surgery on Zatanna. This Zatanna for 70 points with Mystics and JLA team ability, potentially can have a 12 attack throughout most of her dial. and she gets to choose a power, any power that you want. So she starts off with stealth, prob, blades, and combat reflexes. So you can just choose, I don't know, super senses if you want, shape change if you want, perplex if you want. This piece is the quintessential Swiss Army knife, and the way that her dial ends up being, she has good attack values pretty much throughout. She ends on that same type of click that she has, where she starts with stealth, blades, combat reflexes, and probability control. I've played against her and I played with her. Playing against her is a pain in the butt. Playing with her is fun. So if you get the chance to, if you have not played this Zatanna, give her a whirl. This is easily one of my favorite figures from last year. This piece is amazing. Dual targets with 4 range. Chef's kiss. Like, I absolutely love this piece. Going into my rares. So first and foremost, we have to get out of the way my baby, Supergirl. Now, this is right off of the comic cover from Supergirl's newest series that just started not too long ago. Absolutely love it. When I saw it, I was like, oh, I have that comic cover. As a matter of fact, this Supergirl has cosmic energy as well as a Superman team ability. The cool thing about it is she's 100 points, and most people won't play her at 100 points because you can play her at a 70 point dial. That's more offensive. And I don't mind it, but I enjoy making people, I love rolling super senses. So potentially making people like, you know, hey, I can evade. And she starts with blades. Again, you can activate that Aries. She's got some sidestep. She does have 6 range. I'm more likely probably going to play her at full, but at 70 points, I'm not mad at you at all. The real cool thing about her is she can heal a teammate when they get hurt. She gets to heal them 1 click if they haven't been healed by her already. That is amazing. She has a stop click, but what if you play her on a team with people with stop clicks, being able to be like, oh, you hit me to my stop click, and then after resolutions, before you can do anything else, follow up or free action or anything like that, Supergirl, heal him off that it's so good. It's just so good, and I absolutely love it. So I love this piece. If you do not own this piece, go get you one of her. I think she's going to be very good for very long to come. Like, she's 6 range. She can fly, of course. And it's the cosmic energy, not being able to outwit her. But it's really the, like, on that first stop click, 12 attack, 12 movement. Like, 12 movement running shot is just being able to move 12 squares on these small maps is great, but 12 movement with the running shot with super strength, 4 damage. She's just, she is absolutely winning. I absolutely love this piece. Like, if you have not played with this piece, stop playing and go get you some time with her. She is amazing at both point values. Try her. I'm going to always say, try the character out at the top dial, just so that you can see for yourself how good and how effective they could be for you. Remember, not every piece is going to be effective for everyone's play style. So what you see me love and play is effective for me. And I'm not always going to do just what the hot meta is. If pieces that I love fall into the meta, fantastic. But I love and want to play the pieces that are good for me. So next up we have, and my number 2 rare is my boy Damian, or Robin. Damian Wayne is my favorite Robin, and this is one of those times where, you know, it took such a long time for him to get made again, so I'm so happy that he did. This dial, like, he's got the marksman team ability, or marksman keyword, which allows him to get the trick arrows, which we got a new bundle in the Masters of TIme set, which are absolutely amazing. And every time I kept pulling him. Now, this version that I have is a little bit modded. And he has a bow and arrow on his basic sculpt, but I ain't never seen no Robin with no bow and arrow. So I put a sword in his hand because I've definitely seen him with a sword. And all this time we needed just a normal Robin, and they give him a bow and arrow. And I was like, what is going on with all this archery? Like, that ain't it. They gave his mom a bow and arrow too. I was like, I know it's like during a certain story, but it's like, can I get a normal Damian? Anyway, what he does, he has a power where, or he has a trait where when he misses, he can try to hit again. And when he does hit, he can give a power that he has on his card, I think, if I'm not mistaken, on his card. He can give a power that he has on his card, yeah, to another friendly character. I've used this piece so many times in sealed play and in battle royales, and he does work. You have to take him out, because if you don't, he's gonna take you out. And you again can play him at 60, or you can play him at 30. And on his 30-point line, he's got dual bolts with 4 range. Again, precision strike. He has close combat expert, combat reflexes. Of course, he has Batman team ability, so he can sit in stealth and wait for the perfect time to strike. This Damian gives me everything that I actually want in a Damian Wayne. He has Batman family keywords, so in silver play and in just, you know, home play, I can equip him with the utility belt to give him even more utility and longevity. I absolutely love this piece. I would probably make him 70 points and give him the broadsword, and then give him blades his whole dial, just again to activate Ares and give him +1 defense. The broadsword is probably one of my favorite things in the game, and you'll see me mention it again in this video. So my number 1 rare is none other than Reverse Flash. Now, I've mentioned Destroyer already, like, you know, in this video. He was a prime that sat on the sideline for free. We've had Absorbing Man that sit on the sideline for free. Reverse Flash is a piece that if you don't have him, go get him. Stop playing, just go get him. He's amazing. He makes it so you choose a character, and when that character misses you, he comes out. Which is super thematic, because through the history of Barry Allen, the Flash, he's made different things happen to him, and he's so fast that you can't see him. It's just stuff happens, or like Barry will fall down the steps, and it's like, I pushed you down the steps. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just... Read some, if you're a comic book reader, go read up on Reverse Flash and go read some of the stories where he's in. It's absolutely amazing. Like, and I know this pose, they, you know, I don't know if they chose this pose for him first and then did Flash, but he's like kind of pushing. He's kind of coming to a stop where he's pushing, and it's just, I can just envision him pushing young Barry Allen down the steps. It's so crazy. But if you main force him for 40 points, if you main force him, you get some really, really cool stuff for main force. You get 12 attack, you get hypersonic that gives you flurry, you get shape change, you get probability control, and he has a hyper time. With this set, we've seen the reemergence of the hyper time team ability, which makes it so that when you try to get next to him, you have to stop and roll a 1 or 2, or roll a d6, and if you roll a 1 or 2, you cannot get adjacent to him. And I know that seems like, oh, that's not so bad, but I've seen people roll them 1s and them 2s. I've rolled them 1s and those 2s before in seal play. At Gen Con, I had to trade for him. I think, no, not Gen Con, at Worlds, I traded for him. And I traded a Chase at the time I traded King Jefferson, because I was like, I got him and some other convention exclusives that I wanted, because and I'm so glad I did, because in my actual product that I bought, I did not pull him. And I need this figure, and this figure sits on my sideline in dang near if I'm not playing like Prime Rogue or Prime Colossus, he is the Prime that I'm always reaching for. If you do not have him, go get him right now. He is worth it, every single penny. So next, let's get into super rares. Now we get into the super high rarity stuff. And at number 3, my number 3 super rare is none other than the Green Lantern. I'm a Green Lantern fan. I cannot wait until the new Green Lantern comes out later on in this year. Like, just all of the possibilities that you can do. Absolutely love it. This sculpt, first off, the pose is amazing. This is an immaculate pose. And I love that they went back and did, again, representation matters. So I love that they did some representation with this version of Green Lantern. It's not just another Hal Jordan or any of the Earth Lanterns. They actually dug and got a different lantern. I absolutely love that, and I look forward to us getting more of that in the lantern set to come. With that being the case, this is another one of those pieces that he rewards you for rolling dice. If you roll your leadership. I think, no, if you roll your willpower, then you get extra things along with it. Like, again, what he does, just being able to, with Green Lantern team ability, being able to carry a bunch of people, but him being able to kind of move around and then attack after he moves as well is absolutely great. I'm never going to play him at his 65 point value, because I actually value what he does at the 100 points. I've already mentioned the broadsword. He gets it for free because that is a Green Lantern construct, and he has Green Lantern team ability or Green Lantern keyword, so he gets it for free. So for 100 points, he would then have a 19 defense with blades his entire dial, which allows him to activate Ares, but also, like, you know, you can't hurt what you can't hit. And that 19 with super senses, and he has shape change as well. Absolutely love this piece. The sculpt is just gorgeous. I love it, love it, love it. My number 2 super rare, and this was hard, but my number 2 is none other than Mr. John Constantine. Now, this is what is called a championship figure. If you don't know, when you win the world championship or, you know, national championship, I think they did it at the time. This came from a player from Mexico who is a very cool guy. His name's Saul. Shout out to you, Saul. I think, hands down for me, this is the best championship figure that we've ever gotten. What this John Constantine does is, in today's day and age, Khonshu is a big thing for a lot of people. This guy says only he can use probability control, which is huge. Now, I've fought against other John Constantines, and it's like, well, ain't nobody probbing, and ain't nobody probbing. But him being able to kind of poof around and move around, the very first time we got Constantine in the game, he shut down prob. And this version does not disappoint. Him being a wild card and having Mystic team ability means he can copy Justice League team ability from his other Justice League Dark members. That is one of his keywords. He does team up well with the Justice League Dark people. I've played against it, and I was dumbfounded at how lethal that team is when you actually play it together. If you have the Justice League Dark and you have not played them together, play them together and just watch how good they are. And I love this piece. I've played him numerous times. He helped me win some rock events in my local area and do well in my rock events. I absolutely love this piece, and the sculpt is very reminiscent of the Keanu Reeves movie that we've seen and different stuff in the comic book too. So my number 2 is John Constantine. This is an amazing piece. Again, congrats, Saul, on not only winning to be able to make a figure, but making an amazing figure. That figure is chef's kiss. And I told him that at Worlds this past year when I got to see him. I told him how good that Constantine is. Like, it's amazing. Okay, number 1 super rare in Masters of TIme is none other than Swamp Thing. Now, you're gonna be like, well, this doesn't look like my Swamp Thing. It does not. I've done some plastic cosmic surgery, and I took the vines from the White Lantern, Swamp Thing from the War of Light set, and I transplanted them, you get it, onto him. And it makes him look so much better to me because he's offering you the apple, and he's also offering you these vines, because my favorite Pokemon is Bulbasaur, and Vine Whip is a thing, and he is doing that Vine Whip. This is, anyone that knows me and has played with me knows that I'm going to play Swamp Thing. He's going to get Cathan on him, and he's going to get Amit on him for free, and I'm just going to carry him around the map. He never going to take a costed action. He's just going free. He's going to put that plant marker under you and free attack you, free attack you, free attack you, free attack you. And I'm going to choose big on you and just plasticity you up and stay with you, and he's got shape change. Like this, he also has shape change, and he has support traded as well. Another one of those pieces where you don't got to give him a whole bunch of special powers. If you just give him some traits, and he can also choose his size too. So you can be big, normal, or you can be small. Again, he's going to get carried up. Turn 1, I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to be small. Turn 2, he getting carried up. Here it goes. And then he going to turn big so that you can't get away from him. And so he can start poisoning you because he has all that. He has a myriad of different powers at his disposal. That's why I had to spruce him up. That's why I had to spruce this figure up with the paint job and everything like that. This is easily one of my favorite pieces. This is probably my favorite piece that got made last year, is this Swamp Thing. He does every single thing that I want him to do, and he heals in a myriad of different ways. Late dial, he gets some flurry with Steel Energy. This piece gets so much play from me, and when you build around him, he builds on so many different teams. OMG. Him with Hadar Yao, which is one of my favorite pieces and a lot of people's favorite, one of their favorite pieces in the game. He's her ultimate bodyguard, being able to just sit back and be big. And all of a sudden, again, she can just carry him up, boop, sit him there. I dare you to come over here. Great, because you can't just let Hadari just hang out. So you let him sit there with her, come get it. And there's nothing you can do. And they can be on a Wakanda team together. If you don't have the Wakanda Forever OP kit, go get it. That's Shuri. She's good. Anyway, getting into the chases. So, my number 3 chase is none other than Prince Kal-El. This is the first time we've seen actually any kind of Kal-El on my list. I didn't necessarily like all the Supermans that were in this set, but yeah. With that being the case, this Prince Kal-El, he is a pain in the butt. I played against him. I played with him one time, but I played against him one time, and I kicked his butt. Shout out to my homeboy, Michael. We had an epic game when he played him, and I got very lucky. And Robin, with his trick arrows, was able to take him down real good. But 12 attack. I think he has hypersonic to start. Yeah, with 20 defense. You know, you can't take more than 3 damage, so he has 3 damage on most of his dial, but it's penetrating to make sure that he eats through your defenses. And, you know, essentially just pinging away at him or some of the other characters. If you play him at top dial, which most people won't because he's 150 points, you're gonna get what you pay for, because at 150 points, I think is well worth it. He has Batman and Superman team ability, so he can hide in stealth while shooting through stealth. He's got 4 range. He, of course, flies. He has some very, very cool stuff. And I love what he does. And this definitely takes after. If you've not read the story, Dark Knights of Steel, go read it. It's amazing. If you like Game of Thrones, then that story is for you. And yeah, he's like a Jaime Lannister. If you know the story, you know. Second chase is right from that same story. Miss Diana. She's got the gangster lean a little bit, and I don't want to try to fix her, but Diana, she is a meta piece. Now, she's very good for what she does. She can boot people over to help her in her quest to take you up off the map. And Wonder Woman is my second favorite female fictional character, right behind Storm. And they essentially are 2 peas in the pod. Whenever I see versions of them, I automatically have to have them. And I love me some Wonder Woman. This Diana she's amazing. She has Wonder Woman team ability as well as Superman team ability. So she can throw stuff into stealth. If somehow you end up giving her outwit, she can see into stealth. Again, at 150 points. Most people are not going to play her. But if you do play her at 150 points, you're getting some beef. You're getting some real good beef. She's got super strength with 12 attack, 5 damage, charge flurry. I think she has super senses along with a reducer on her. I think it's invincible on her defensive power. But that 5 damage, and with super strength, you have her carry around the what's that thing called? The telephone booth or the heart-shaped herbs for healing or for shape change. This piece is just absolutely amazing. And the sculpt is beautiful. She's standing on all these swords and shields. She has one of the best sculpts in the game from regular size figures by far. Like this is definitely one of the best looking chases and figures in the set for sure. She is my number 2. My number 3. And I'm sure people are gonna be like, I'm not surprised. It is Zala Jor-El. I absolutely love me some Supergirl. And I love me a pissed off Supergirl. Now, one thing I didn't mention about Diana is she makes you have +1 attack. when she's close. She makes you have +1 damage when she's close. And I've seen it work in such a way where you get your team set up and you just send her in with hypersonic, or with charge or any of that type of stuff, mainly with hypersonic, because at her lower dial at 50 points, she starts with hypersonic, 11 attack, 4 damage. Ugh, she's so good. And then you just, not after you just, not you hit somebody for 4, but then all of a sudden the rest of your team comes up and follows up with +1 damage. This piece is absolutely insane. Again, she is a meta piece for right now. People have been building around with her because of what she does. The sculpt is amazing. Just with her, with the leg up a little bit and the cape billowing in the wind, chef's kiss. When you make pieces like this and you make that kind of like, I double dare you, this is reminiscent of the first Casey Superman that we ever got, where he's just kind of standing there and the cape is billowing. Shout out to Alex Ross, one of my favorite artists of all time. If you don't know who he is, go look him up. But this Zala Jor-El, 1000% is my favorite chase. Her having 6 range, you build around her, and her having the super senses through the Wonder Woman team ability, because she doesn't have super senses anywhere on her dial. So you can help her out by giving her Bucky's arm, which gives you super senses and close combat expert, which just for either 55 or 105 points turns her into a complete tank, even more than she already was, because then she would be running around with hypersonic 12-5 with a 5 through 6 super senses, as well as invincible and stuff. Come on, get out of here. This, I mean, again, beautiful sculpt of colors, chef's kiss. Oh, I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. Master of TIme is such a great set. It's one of the best sets that we've gotten, and I was very down on it when I first got it, but that's why I say you have to play figures before you start judging it realistically. Just seeing it on paper will have you deceived a lot of times. So get out there before you throw those commons, uncommons, and even chase figures away. Play them. Give them one good play and actually build around them, just so you can accentuate everything that they can do. They were designed for a purpose. So a lot of times people don't like a figure because you're trying to play it a way that it's not designed to be played. And it happens. So anyway, now with Master of TIme, we were, like I said before, we were able to get Jurassic boosters, which is in the long line of WizKids giving us what's called super boosters, along with the normal size boosters that we got. So we got 1 big figure and 2 other figures aligned with it. So my top 3 of the Jurassic boosters, my number 3 just so happens to be Mr. Flash Raptor. I mean, all of the Jurassic League can be played at 50 points. So you can play the whole Jurassic League together. I do have the whole Jurassic League just for display purposes. And because I love variations. This is exactly what I love in Heroclix at this point in time. Give me all the variations of characters. Like the chases, give me variations of characters that we haven't seen. I got a ton of Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Flash, all the type of person, but I don't got Flash as a Raptor. Give me this. And he's one of the, I was very lucky to win him in a raffle at one of the stores I play at called Highlander Games in Boonton, New Jersey. Shout out to Scott and the judge over there, Brian Galley. A lot of you know him in the community, and all the players that come and play over there. Shout out to all of them. I also have a venue called Saga Concepts in Inglewood, New Jersey. Come over there on a Friday, come play some clicks with me, come roll some dice. I would love to see you. But with that being the case, Flash Raptor. I mean, he's hypersonic, and the trait that the Jurassic League have is they get to use Quake after they hit. He has Precision Strike on his 50-point line, so when not only when he hits you is he going to hurt you, but he's also going to hurt you with his Quake as well, and hurt essentially a group of people. He has Justice League team abilities, so that 11 attack that he starts with can be a 12. Again, he is a Colossal, so he has Giant Reach 3. So he can move 11 squares and hit another 3. So that is a 14 square swing, which pretty much means you can't sidestep out of your starting area without potentially getting hit from him. He is a double base. So that means that, again, he's already starting up, like he's already starting 3 squares ahead. So he can come get you. And what an amazing piece this is. It looks absolutely gorgeous. This is easily one of the best looking pieces in this set, and that was made last year. I absolutely love Flash Raptor, and a lot of people do too, which is why he is super expensive on secondary market. Next, we have, I mentioned him before in his smaller version, and here is the bigger version. This is like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers version. You start off with like the small version, and Rita Repulsa comes along and is like, grow, my monster. And then this is supposed to be a representation of this Mr. Mind in an armored, like, android type of body. And if you haven't read the stories with that, they're great. Mr. Mind is a pain in the butt for being just a little worm that's super smart. But I got to play him at Gen Con, and I got to play him at Worlds as well. And let me tell you, I love shape change, and his and that's my heater going. Thank the Lord for heat. I hope you are staying warm this winter, but thank you, heater, for working. I appreciate you. With that being the case, this Mr. Mind has shape change that if he rolls a shape change, he gets to deal some penetrating damage to somebody within 5 squares, which is his range, within range, which is 5 squares. I love just running him up, and he also allows to put a small Mr. Mind on the card that sits off of the board, but can still take costed actions. So you can move him up, boom, and then let the other Mr. Mind is sitting on the sideline, mind control 2 people. It's such a lethal combo. And even at, he's max 250, but even at 100 points, he's absolutely well worth playing. If you have not played against this guy or played with this guy, give him a try. He can be on a myriad of different teams thanks to some keyword cheating. Trust me, I got some cool keyword cheating stuff, but also he goes on his time stealers that keyword that he has, and it's very, very good. I absolutely love this Mr. Mind. He is my number 2. And number 1, I think y'all already know. Y'all know I'm a Superman guy, so you already know who my favorite Jurassic piece is going to be, and that is Mr. Super Sore. Now, first off, this sculpt is amazing. Sculpt is amazing. The detail that they put into this guy is, you know, a lot of times when you see the card of Heroclix, you see how much detail that they originally put in the 3D sculpt, and it might not translate perfectly like a 1-for-1. But baby, let me tell you, they got all the veins, they got all the muscles, they got all the scales, they got all of everything. This piece is insane. Now, thing that makes Super Sore so good, not only does he have Justice League team ability to give him +1 attack against certain characters, also Superman, even though he has no range, but he still can throw some stuff. He got super strength his whole dial, which allows him to pick up the phone booth and have shape change. I can't wait. I cannot wait to just be like, oh, shape change on Super Sore. Great, fantastic. It's so good. Also, he can be 50 points, just like I said with the other one, or he can be 300 points. I love this piece. He has charge, and he does not have his movement. He has that his whole dial pretty much. Yeah, he has it pretty much his whole dial. And he can charge, and when he hits you, not only can he do this quake for free afterwards, but he also has another part of his trait that says, if I hit you with or I can knock you back or knock you into orbit and knock you back again, kind of like Dragon Ball Z, and like we've seen in Justice League Unlimited Superman, where he's fighting Darkseid. But this Superman gets to hit you, and then if he knocks you back, you can place him adjacent to that character and then hit them again. So the way you do it is you come over, you pick up a piece of terrain or, you know, whatever you want, clobber somebody with the first one, wham, here's 5-6 damage, whatever, and then I knock you back into your friends or whatever. Or if you're next to your friends, quake all your friends, and whoever got hit, whoever's hurt, oh, you, now I come over here and wallop you some more. Super strength means I'm knocking back everybody, so you can just start playing pinball with everything. Like, this piece is gorgeous, and he's the reason why I had to have all the Jurassic League just for the display. I collect Superman figures. You can see in the background. Got a whole bunch of Superman figures. This is exactly what I love in Heroclix, like I had already mentioned with the chases. I love variations. And this piece does everything that I wanted to do and more. I had to make myself not get 2 of him. I generally believe in a Highlander style of play where I don't usually keep multiples of characters unless they fall into my lap. And there was a chance for me to buy another one, and I was like, no, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be that guy. And that is my number 1 from the Jurassic boosters. Now, in Master of TIme, we got another rarity. We got the Ultra Chase. Every now and again, we get what's called an Ultra Chase, which again, it's higher. It's the highest rarity in Heroclix that you can get. And I was very blessed to be able to pull the Ultra Chase. I'm pulling him down because he's on display, but it is none other than the Man of Steel himself, Superman. He's sitting on a deity base because Superman's God tier. Okay, I absolutely love this piece. Thanks to WizKids for making this. This has a special place in my heart. My first judge in Heroclix, his name was Tom Price. He was a great man for many different reasons, and also a huge Superman fan and loved Christopher Reeve and everything like that. So for the Notorious set, they made their Zod Ursanon Ultra Chase, which I have, and I had to make sure I have, and I was lucky enough to pull this in my, if you, again, on my channel, there's an unboxing for this set. I pulled this figure in it. I'm very excited. And I love what they did with this sculpt. Him flying around the world. If you're not familiar with Superman flying around the world, go watch Superman 1 with Christopher Reeve. It's, to me, one of the greatest movies they've ever made, because they said you will believe a man can fly, and that Superman instilled hope. The new James Gunn is supposed to be going back to that kind of mindset that the Christopher Reeve movies gave you, where Superman instilled hope and like joy. He had an air of joy around him, and smile and stuff like that, and bright colors. This dial is interesting. He's got hypersonic, and he has probability control, but only when he uses hypersonic. So he does have a 12-4. He does also have that super strength again, so you can carry around the phone booth, which is, at this time, when this movie was made, phone booths were still a thing. So it's kind of thematic for him to do that. I do have a team with him built on it, some Kryptonian teams and some other teams. But for 100 points, you get a dial that I think is worth giving a try. He does have hyper time as well as Superman, so if you try to get next to him, he potentially can say, nope, stand over there, can't touch this, you know, like MC Hammer. I'm aging myself, but that's okay. With that being the case, this, again, the sculpt is amazing. I like the dial. This is the quintessential Superman flying pose. WizKids, keep doing stuff like this. Like this whole thing. This is a display piece. This gives you a wow factor when you pull it. This is a piece, quote unquote, worth having. To someone like me, to a Superman collector like me, to a lover of the character and the movies, this is exactly what you want. So yeah. So with that being the case, that is the end of my top 3 from every rarity, and even, I guess, top 1, because we're going to get one. Oh my, I can't imagine if we had more than 3 Ultra Chases. Oh, the players, the community's heads would collectively explode. But with that being the case, and don't do that, WizKids, I'm not endorsing that, but with that being the case, what say you? Let me know, what were your top pieces from this Masters of TIme set? I know it's going to vary from person to person. I would love to hear exactly why, or I would love to just hear what you think about my picks as well. Do you agree? Do you not agree? Would you replace a few figures? I love to talk clicks with anyone. Please, please, please like, share, subscribe, all the different YouTube things. But more importantly, I love to just talk. So just leave a comment. I'm going to keep making figures like this. Collector's Troves come out in a few weeks now, so I'll be making a top 3 of that set. Fingers crossed that I actually get my top 3 of every rarity from that set. But with that being the case, it is your super sketch artist, Antonio. Thank you for watching. Even if you just watch for 30 seconds, I appreciate you tremendously. As always, be good to yourself, be good to others, go be super.